Right, so the next thing I thought might be worth sharing with you is this decrepit thing. Look at the state of it. Yeah, my wife absolutely hammered the laptop keyboard as, you know, they wear off like this. So the key text was worn off the keys. She had some faults, I think, on a couple of the keys on the laptop. So we got this and sat this over the top of the laptop, and she used this actually, and the trackpad was better on this than it was on the laptop. So yeah, it's had a lot of use, and it's been sat in a corner, and it's accumulated lots of dust and dirt, and there's obviously bits of nail polish and makeup and all sorts gone. That's horrendous, the state of that. It really is. You're thinking, oh my god, put it in the bin, you know. But it works really well, actually, so it just needs a clean. So I think what I'm going to do, I am going to dismantle this, remove this piece of plastic, and you can see it's that rubbery stuff that goes sticky. It's like sticky. That's why there's bits of fluff and dirt and mould and all sorts stuck on it. I'm going to use some IPA and get it like this. Clean this off. Yeah? And then we'll clean up the keys, I'll hoover it, maybe remove the odd keycap to get in between to clean them and stuff, and we'll get it back together, and hopefully it'll be good as new. So, yeah, not especially exciting, but I quite enjoy the challenge of trying to restore something like this, because I know that this could be useful to me or my wife at some point in the future when we need a keyboard or a trackpad. It's not bad though, as cheap as some of these things are. It works really well. I've just been using this with that laptop to reset it back to factory defaults and stuff, and to erase the space on the disk. You can use a command called Cipher at the command prompt in Windows 10. That's a cool feature I didn't know about until, well, yesterday. Yeah, and you can wipe unused space. It goes over it a number of times with different bit patterns, so that if anyone tries to get your data off the disk, and this is the thing, you may think if you reset a computer back to factory defaults that if someone tried to get your data off that drive, they wouldn't be able to. Well, that's not true. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're aware, but when you write data to a disk, you know, you've got spherical tracks on a disk, yeah, and the read-write head writes, you know, like a 1 or 0, yeah, and you get what's called fringe patterns, where, you know, if you write, say, 1 0 0 0 1, yeah, and you've got those two ones in that 4-bit pattern there that stick out, yeah, when you erase those back to a 0, a little bit of the edge of the 1 can still be on the very outer edge of the track, if you see what I mean. So with the right hardware and the right alignment of heads, you can actually read data that was there before that's no longer there. So this is the thing, you've got passwords and secure information, documents and things on a hard disk, and you reset back to factory defaults. You think you've removed all your data, and actually you haven't. Where there's a will, there's a way. You can sometimes recover data from a disk, even if it's been formatted completely and reset back to zeros. So what you want is something like, use something like Cipher, or more sophisticated really, and write over it a number of times with various bit patterns to try and get rid of those fringe patterns on the outer edge of a track. Yeah, I'm just going to use this just to see, is it clipped on? Yes it is. It's like clips, look. Yeah, I think there might be a screw under this. Let's just try and pull that foot off. Yeah, there is, look, there's a foot. Maybe it had a foot there, it's lost it. Yeah, that would explain it. It doesn't really need those feet, to be honest, but there we go. Yeah, so if you're struggling to get into something like this, just reevaluate, because you know what? Yeah, look, so there's one there as well. You may have missed a couple of screws. There we go. That's what I wanted. So I've just carefully, hang on, lift this up like that. Yeah, this is where you've got to be careful you don't damage any cables and things. So we've got one there as well. Look, a little flex ribbon. Anyway, that's going to be far easier now. And of course, this plastic here, other than just needing a wipe, it's all right. But it just makes it easier now to work on this, to get rid of all this rubberised surface that's gone gooey. And let's just go straight in there with the IPA, and I'm hoping that the IPA will dissolve this. And it's not doing, is it? Yeah, that's green, look. it's kind of like biodegradable, and in fact it is. That's what's wrong. You know, these rubbery sort of things that they coat things with, it's biodegradable, and this is the issue. Over time, the plasticizer or whatever's inside it, you know, just breaks down and it goes all sticky and horrible. But hopefully it'll be worth it in the end. And I did this to a Scion 5, which you may think is terrible, you know, terrible thing, but it was awful. There's no way you could use it in the state it was. It was just horrible, sticky, gooey. Some of the Amstrad stuff used it as well, didn't they? It was like a netbook or something they used, and I don't know, a couple of other products there that are like that. But yeah, with some effort, trust me, this will be almost good as new, better than factory, in the words of Tronic Fix. Is it Tronic Fix? No, it's not, it's Northridge Fix. Yeah, you can see we're getting the nice shiny black plastic back there. So, yeah, I don't know, give me half an hour. I reckon that's going to be good as new. Yeah, just a few seconds later I thought I'm just going to switch to acetone. Let's just try some acetone on the underside. What I want to do is see, does it have a reaction? You know, is it damaging the plastic? And I think yes, the answer is, look. So you know what, yeah, don't use acetone. Someone may try and suggest that, but you can see there, that's marked, it's gone all gooey and, you know, not really gooey, but it's like dissolved the surface there. Yeah, so acetone is a no. And you know what, I feel it's like just worth a bit of a rant about this stuff. I actually think this stuff should be banned in manufacturing. Yeah, because it is so, what's the word, crap, yeah, that ultimately this causes, you know, issues with recycling, doesn't it? Yeah, 99.9% of people who own one of these, when it's got like this, after 2 or 3 years, they'll put it in the bin. Oh no, we'll put that in the bin, look at it, oh it's horrible, oh it's terrible, I don't want to use it anymore, it's sticky, it's whatever. And it's just going to go to landfill, yeah? And I guarantee when I finish cleaning this up, you'll go, oh my god, that looks like new, yeah? And this is the thing, you know, some of these companies are engineering products like this that are going to fail within a very short period of time because they're just not practical to use when all this gooey stuff's coming off. And yeah, what's the point in it? It gives a nice soft rubbery feel for a very short period of time before it goes gooey. I would prefer just smooth plastic. And the environment would prefer just smooth plastic. This could live for another 20 years or more. Now you can argue, yeah, biodegradable, but the actual plastic isn't, is it? You know, if all this plastic was crumbling here and falling to pieces, I'm like, well, at least it is completely biodegradable. It can go to landfill and it'll be dissolved within a few years. But that isn't the case. It's just the bleeding coating they do it with. Don't get me wrong, the last thing I want them to do is start using biodegradable plastic as well. Alright, so we're getting near the end here now. The bench is a mess. I need to hoover it down and get rid of all these paper towels with the goo on, but you can see it's smooth now. Smooth. Yeah, we're back to that word again, smooth. Everything's smooth. Yeah, there's very little black stuff coming off. So I'll finish off here, and you can tell because it doesn't stick to the paper towel. It was sticking to the paper towel before I did that. Yeah, I'll finish off with cotton buds, because then I can get right into the corners and things and just go over these edges with the cotton buds. But even the Keytronic or Keysonic logo there is fine. I managed to get all of that stuff from around it. It's incredible. You never know it had that awful coating on. The difficulty is where you get these little grooves like this, and you've got to use a nail. Yeah, get the IPA, and then use a nail and go like this. And then you'll get right into the groove. Yeah, you can see it coming out there, look. So this is where my long nails sometimes help. They're not long at the moment, I actually cut them, but yeah, anyway, a nail, fingernail that is, not the ones you stick in the walls, is just the ticket to get into that groove and get the gunk out of there. Right, cotton buds next. Because the thing with the cotton buds, you get focused cleaning. So like, you know, these corners, these would be incredibly hard to do any other way. Yeah, and there's some black stuff coming off there, just a little bit. You can see that, cotton bud's going black. yeah, it'd be really hard to try and get a paper towel right into the corner that way. And of course, you know, right round the edges here. Now I have done that with a paper towel, but maybe not right into the corners.
Losing time, I'm fading fast.
So I hoovered the bench down, got rid of all the bits of black goo that were everywhere, and a million pieces of paper towel and cotton buds. Going to use some Maguire's Plastics now, Plast RX, and just have a bit of a polish around this. This will just get the final bits off, but also it'll just polish up the surface.
That'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it, and I know of sadness, the anxious and panic.
Yeah, so there you go. It gives you an idea of what you can expect. And I remember when I did my Cyan 5 MX, I think it was, this is how it looked. You can look here and go, oh, it's cloudy, has it got sort of stuff on it? It hasn't. It's just, it's like here, it's friction marks and things like that. It can be from where you've polished it, but there's no sticky residue on this at all. It's completely free of every particle of that. The bottom piece was a solid piece of plastic, it didn't have that rubberised coating on it. You could do the same thing on is it Palm Newton? I think those had that rubberised awful stuff on, but yeah, I think you'll agree, if that was, you know, like a Scion nail or something, you could, you know, treasure it and use it and not be distressed every time you pick it up and it, you know, it gets stuck to everything. Yeah, so the final step is to clean this up. You can see how decrepit it is under here. Yeah, you can see very little of that is actually coming out. It's all under here, it's horrible, so I'm going to have to use cotton buds on it here, I think. Yeah, so just cleaning over the keys here with IPA. If you want to do a thorough job, obviously strip it completely down, wash all these keycaps independently. I just want this to be, you know, a functional thing that's not totally mangy to use. Right, so I've just hoovered it again, spot cleaned any little marks that will remain in that key there. Needs a bit of polish on it, it looks a bit funny. You know, the colour is, you know, it's discoloured a little bit. Just lift that over there carefully, hopefully it won't damage that ribbon. And I've got to be careful with the ribbon here for this, the flex ribbon for this. We need to just clean around this touchpad because, and be careful because it feels like, well, it feels like it's got like a glass or ceramic sort of coating to it or something. Let's just use a cotton bud to do a bit of focus cleaning on that. Because I can get right onto the edge here that's where I want to get. Right there. And right up there. Just the part where you're interacting with it, that's the bit I want to get the rubber stuff off. But you know, there's going to be less risk of damaging that if you remove that whole button assembly and did it, you know, away from here, because, you know, bending this here, you could break this, and ultimately those may break over time. Going to get some contact cleaner into those switches underneath as well if I can. And I could of course remove the plastic bit here, but I don't need to because I can actually see the surface of the switch there. So I'm just going to spray a bit of contact cleaner into each of those. And those are soldered on, you could replace those just like in any trackpad really. There's a bit of hair or something there we go. So that's that, those are now super clean, and we'll get a bit of polish onto them when we're done. Let's just flip this back over here, just give that one more wipe whilst it's out like that. There's just a couple of little marks on there that I'm going to spot clean. There's one here. I'm not sure if that's a scratch. Let's just see. It may be a scratch. Got one there. And one here. And actually, I think those have gone. Yeah, there's still the one here, that is a scratch. So anyway, that is pretty pristine, I think. Just to clip this all back together, let's get the screws in and I'll go and give it a try. I need to clean the underneath a little bit as well, really. I've shown this 1,000 times before. Some back to black on here. You can see straight away what difference that made. Yeah, you do have to wipe it a fair bit, so otherwise you get all this like smeariness, but in terms of the keys themselves, any that were faded like that shift looked a bit dodgy. No, it doesn't. Yeah, they just look like new. Yep, I think you'll agree. better than new. So the cable here, you may have seen this before. I use magic eraser with some IPA, and yeah, just squeeze and do a little bit of that. It's not too bad, this cable. Power supply cables and things tend to get dirtier. And there we go. So worn, used, yes, there's a hair there, look. But clean and, useful, definitely. Yeah, it's not even bad on the underside, but yeah, I'll just give it a go on there anyway. So I'm going to go and try it now. Hopefully it works. So next on the bench here looks suspiciously familiar, doesn't it? In that it's another Keysonic. And it's got the same problem. This one's a bit worse in the sense that all the print, well, not all the print, some of the print has worn off the keys that, well, commonly got used. So you can see it's very dusty. I'm just going to go straight at this with, oh no I'm not. I was going to say IPA. I think we're going to hoover it first. We'll hoover the top of it, and then I'll take the keyboard out, just like we did with that last one, and then just get rid of all of this sticky, horrible coating, and hopefully it'll live to see another day.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the black. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need. What you need. We're broken, it's tragic. We're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
Yep, and every key works there. I almost grabbed the black spray paint instead of this back to black stuff here. But yeah, I always like to go over any plasticky things with this stuff. It just makes them look absolutely like new. Yeah, so every key works, all the LEDs work, and no issues, no reliability issues. Each key, just tap it and it works instantly. And that's the thing, I knew this was a good keyboard because, well, it served my wife for a number of years, without an issue, and then eventually I got the bigger one with the trackpad when this started wearing off here, but there's nothing actually wrong with it. So for, you know, a little compact USB keyboard, maybe to connect to a little server you've got under a desk or something, a file server. I mean, bear in mind, you don't need an actual keyboard on things, do you? If you're using a machine like that, you can RDP into it and stuff, you don't actually need a keyboard. But for things like that, for testing things, it's really, really handy to have a little USB keyboard. So I've now got two of those, they're both Keysonic, as you've seen. One of them's got a trackpad, one of them doesn't, but both of them look fine and work fine. Just better than putting them in the landfill, isn't it? So both perfectly working, nice and clean, just sat there waiting for some rack space actually as I clear through some things. Those can go onto an actual shelf.